Money doesn't break marriages, misalignment does. Today, we're talking about how couples can get on the same page financially and ethically before problems start. Hi, I'm David Stevens with Stevens Capital Partners. People regularly ask me, how do marriage and wealth coexist? When should we talk about money? What if my partner's values, charitable giving, impact investing, even what's ethical to spend money on? What if they don't line up with mine? Those are exactly the conversations that make or break long-term plans. In today's video, we'll break the topic into 3 practical areas. Number 1, transparency and financial truth-telling. Number 2, shared goals and structures. And then number 3, ethical alignment. I'm going to share research, really give you some quick actions you can take tonight, and how advisors like us can really help you to keep those conversations constructive and not combative. So point number 1, we're going to start with transparency because that's going to reduce secrecy and increase trust in your relationship. Matter of fact, financial secrecy, for example, hidden debts, unreported purchases, or financial infidelity, it really corrodes trust. Before you can align on goals, you must make the money visible. Studies and surveys show financial secrets are common and consequential. Recent surveys find a substantial share of couples, matter of fact, they admit to hiding purchases or other financial details from their partners. Many view financial deception as severe as romantic cheating, believe it or not. Transparency reduces surprise shocks to the household balance sheet and really prevents the breakdown in trust. Okay, let's start with some quick practical actions. Start with one shared ledger, a simple monthly spreadsheet or shared budgeting app that lists debts, recurring payments, and balances. Make it neutral as far as an administrative snapshot, so not judgment time. Point number 2, we're going to build shared goals and the right structure. Alignment is less about identical spending habits with you and your spouse and more about shared priorities. Retirement, things like home, the kids, a safety net, and really philanthropy as well. Once the priorities are explicit, design account structures and decisions rules to support them. The way couples structure money is shifting. Joint accounts used to be the default, but many modern couples combine joint and separate accounts to balance shared goals with individual autonomy. Research from national surveys shows a meaningful increase in couples keeping separate accounts and a trend towards hybrid structures, which can work well with the boundaries up front. Quick practical actions. Use a shared document and give each goal a rough dollar amount and a timeline. We're going to pick an account architecture that maps to goals. For example, joint checking account for household bills, joint savings for shared goals, things like that. Maybe a house, home down payment, separate accounts for personal spending, joint investment account for long-term goals, such as that. Set rules for big decisions. Decide in advance how you're going to make costly choices. For a single purchase, anything above X amount, we're going to take a 48-hour break. We're going to come back, we're going to discuss it, and then we're going to have mutual sign-off on whether or not we're going to spend money on this item. We're going to automate our transfers into retirement emergency funds, things like that, where it's just happening without us even having to think about it. Surveys show joint account ownership fell compared to earlier decades. But couples who align goals and automate savings, they actually end up reporting less conflict over time. Point number 3. Aligning ethical goals. So things like philanthropy, investing, spending choices, financial alignment includes really how money is used. Things like ESG or values-based investing, consumer ethics, estate priorities. All of these really need to be identified as potential issues that could come up in the future. So why not talk about them right in the very beginning? Couples may agree on retire at X, but diverge on whether to invest for maximum return or prioritizing impact investing as an example. And then what happens sometimes is misalignment can lead to one partner feeling, complicit in choices that they really don't agree with in their heart. Handling this proactively protects both the financial plan and the relationship. Scholarly research and university work on financial infidelity and behavioral responses shows that value mismatches around money can be experienced as betrayal. Quick practical actions. Values inventory exercise. Each partner lists top 3 causes or ethical priorities. For example, it could be education or religious giving or animal welfare, and why they matter to them. Create values allocation is the second point. So in the budget, for example, it might be 2 to 5% of our joint income earmarked for philanthropy or impact investments, maybe with a decision rule on how it's allocated each year, as an example. Use tiered investment buckets. Core retirement account focuses on diversification and returns. A separate impact account invests in ESG or community projects. Both can coexist in a plan. We're going to document legacy wishes. So your estate plan, your will, it really can codify the philanthropic intentions so that both spouses' values are honored long term. Okay, a quick checklist couples can use tonight. Maybe pick 2 of these. Maybe the conversation goes something like this. Hey, honey, let's each list our top 3 financial worries and top 3 financial dreams. What are the balances and the minimum payments on your debts, right? So we're just having a conversation. We don't want to start out in a negative. For example, it might be, hey, if we had an extra $10,000 today, what would we do with it? Right? This is going to reveal your priorities, which of course, helps out in the relationship. You might ask, hey, what are your non-negotiables for spending? What's something that you can't go without? Conversation starters. Here's a couple. I want us to make financial decisions as a team. Can we spend 30 minutes this weekend to map out our goals? Do you see how that works? That was a loving way to say that. I don't want money to be a surprise for us. Can we each give a 1-page snapshot of our finances and where we're currently at? So alignment is a process. It's not just a one-time meeting. Start with transparency, map our shared goals, really to a structure that fits our lives. Carve out a place for ethical priorities that matter to you. Money fights and secrecy, unfortunately, they're common. But couples who build routines and structures reduce conflict and plan more effectively. If you'd like to speak with an advisor, please click on the link below to contact us. If you like this episode, please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Again, I'm David Stevens with Stevens Capital Partners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.